Breaking. 1,000 Iranian missiles headed for the US. And Trump's in hot water. Netanyahu's freaking out. President Donald Trump is once again threatening Iran with military action. Things are heating up big time. Iran's rage is exploding with hundreds of ballistic missiles flying. Tehran says it's fully geared up for a major war, and Trump just gave the green light to invade. So what went down?
According to the Russian newspaper Vzгляд, there's a real chance of a full-blown war between the US and Iran if upcoming nuclear talks flop. They're warning of some heavy consequences for global stability.
Political science professor George Mirzayan from the Financial University in Russia says both Western and Middle Eastern media think a US strike on Iran could be just around the corner. The Pentagon's already moving extra jets to Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean and sending another aircraft carrier to the Gulf. Apparently, some leaks suggest this military face-off could kick off around May 1st and possibly wrap up by September 1st. That date lines up with the deadline DC gave Tehran: ditch the nukes or sit down for real negotiations.
Middle East expert Kirill Semenov says the US wants Iran to shut down its missile and nuclear programs. But Iran's like, no way, that's straight up disrespectful. The issue isn't that Iran doesn't want to talk. It's that both sides can't agree on how to even start negotiating. That's what's jamming up any shot at peace right now. Russia's stepping in, asking everyone to chill out, not just because they like diplomacy, but because a US hit on Iran would be a direct threat to their national security. US F-16 shot down. Yemen's armed forces just announced they downed a US F-16 fighter jet over Al Jawf province in the north while it was carrying out airstrikes. The jet had bombed several spots in Yemen, killing a bunch of civilians.
Yemeni military sources say the plane was hit with a Soviet-made SAM missile, one of those old-school defensive weapons from back in the Soviet era. Yemen's been upgrading and using them with pretty surprising success. The missile nailed the jet, and it crashed in a remote area. This is a major L for the US military. It shows Yemen can still punch back, even with old gear, and it's definitely a morale boost for their side, especially as fighting in the region gets more intense.
Yemeni drone hits deep inside Tel Aviv. Yemen's military also claimed they pulled off two big ops, one targeting an Israeli military base in occupied Jaffa, the other hitting two American destroyers.
Reports say a drone got through Israeli airspace and made it all the way into the heart of Tel Aviv. A shock move no one saw coming. The drone, believed to be a Samad or Quds model, hit a high-security camp run by the elite Golani Brigade, one of Israel's top military units. The strike reportedly took out several Israeli soldiers, including high-ranking officers. Israeli media said the army and intel agencies were totally caught off guard. The air defense systems didn't even react in time.
Panic and chaos broke out in Tel Aviv. Ambulances and fire trucks rushed to the scene and the authorities locked down the area. Locals said they heard loud blasts and saw smoke rising from the camp. Prime Minister Netanyahu is reportedly in shock. The hit came right as his government's dealing with political and security meltdowns. He called for an emergency security meeting and Israel raised alert levels across the board.
Trump politically slaps Netanyahu, and in a twist that caught everyone off guard, Netanyahu got politically burned by Trump during his last trip to the White House. Netanyahu thought he could butter up Trump by backing his economic plans and even offering to help channel more money to the US. He hyped up Israel as America's ride or die and tried to rally other countries to follow his lead, hoping for some favors on big issues like Iran, Gaza, Turkey, Syria, and normalizing ties with Saudi Arabia.
But Trump flipped the script live on camera, announcing for the first time ever that direct talks between the US and Iran were officially kicking off, with the first round set for this coming Saturday. That move blindsided Israel, especially since they've always been super against even indirect talks, like the back-channel stuff that went down in Oman back in 2013. They were even more against it during Biden's time.
So this announcement? Yeah, it hit hard. Israeli media isn't talking about anything else today. The headline on every outlet: direct talks between Washington and Tehran. Iranian foreign minister claps back, shocks the world.
Iran's Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdollahian dropped a bombshell this morning. He shut down the idea of any direct talks with the United States. That just made Trump's surprise announcement yesterday hit even harder. Was Trump jumping the gun? And could that announcement spark a full-on geopolitical earthquake in the region?
Yemeni Quds missile slams US Harry S. Truman.
Military sources are saying the U.S. aircraft carrier USS Harry Truman got hit hard by a direct strike in the Red Sea from a Yemeni Quds-class cruise missile. The missile ripped through the ship's defenses like they weren't even there. Radar, interceptors, everything straight up smoked. The hit caused massive fires and serious structural damage. Emergency teams say it might be beyond repair. The strike hit one of the most vital parts of the carrier, shutting down all flight ops completely. In response, Trump issued a red alert and ordered another carrier to the region to back up U.S. forces and help out the Truman. Trump called it a serious provocation and said the whole U.S. strategy in the Red Sea might need a major rethink. Reactions around the world? Mixed. Some Western leaders are freaking out about rising tensions, while others say this could be a game-changer in naval power dynamics. It's not just a symbolic hit, this was the real deal. It proves that even unconventional forces can now threaten massive US assets with advanced missile tech.
Palestine. 2 missile hits Egyptian plane in Tel Aviv. Yemen's military just claimed they launched a Palestine 2 ballistic missile at Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv. The missile hit an Egyptian cargo plane that was parked on the tarmac. Official sources say the plane was carrying food, but there are serious suspicions it was actually delivering weapons to Israel. Yemen's military says this strike was part of the retaliation strategy against U.S. aggression and warned that more suspicious aircraft will be targeted. Egypt hasn't officially responded yet. Airline insiders denied any weapons were on board and claimed the load was just humanitarian aid. The Palestine 2 is the latest beast in Yemen's ballistic missile lineup. It's got high precision and packs a wide area blast. Definitely a strategic level weapon now.
Red Sea supply ship engulfed in flames. The Yemeni military also says they launched a full-on strike using cruise missiles and drones on multiple U.S. naval assets in the northern Red Sea, including the USS Truman's supply ship. Spokesman Yahya Sari said their forces hit the resupply vessel, loaded with tons of ammo, as it made its way to the Truman. It was a direct hit, using a long-range guided missile fired from deep in Houthi territory. The ship was reportedly cruising near Bab al-Mandeb Strait when it got nailed. Huge fire broke out on board, and there's major fear of secondary explosions from the ammo stash. Sources confirmed the ship was part of a strategic U.S. supply convoy, moving weapons and gear to support Truman's ongoing operations in the area. Houthi forces took responsibility and called it a legit retaliation against the U.S. blockade and airstrikes. CENTCOM hasn't made a public statement yet, but unofficial reports say U.S. naval rescue teams have been sent in to contain the blaze and evacuate the crew. This comes at a time when tensions in the Red Sea are off the charts, with Houthi attacks on coalition-linked ships causing serious worries about the safety of one of the world's busiest shipping routes. Yemeni missile takes down a US F-35. In a shocking new twist, Yemen just claimed they shot down a US F-35 stealth fighter jet, one of the most advanced warplanes in the world. They say it was hit with a locally made surface-to-air missile over Sada province in northern Yemen. According to their statement, the F-35 was on a hostile recon mission in Yemeni airspace before it got detected and blasted out of the sky. The missile reportedly landed a direct hit, and the jet crashed in a rugged mountain area. The US hasn't commented yet, but military analysts say if it's true, this is a major blow to the image of American air dominance. F-35s are supposed to be ultra-stealthy with next-gen tech to avoid detection. So if Yemen's air defense really tracked and downed one, that's a huge flex. It shows a major leap in their ability to detect, lock on, and destroy even top-tier aircraft. The message from Yemen's forces was loud and clear. Our skies aren't open for trespassers. Any aircraft, no matter how high-tech, will be dealt with. Period.
Thanks a ton for watching. Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and don't forget to sub and hit the bell to stay in the loop with X News. We're all about the real deal. No fluff, just facts.